Are you curious about how to budget and plan for monthly grocery shopping?
Do you want to know the secrets behind our large Azure Standard orders for our family of 11?
In this video, we're going to take you behind the scenes and reveal our grocery choices for the month and the reasoning behind them.
But that's not all. We're also going to be sharing why we chose not to participate in the ever so popular No Spend Challenge and the surprising benefits to our family because of it.
Don't miss out on this informative and intriguing video on learning how to master your monthly grocery shopping.
And of course, we'll be sharing all kinds of delicious foods along the way, along with a little bit of day in the life.
Before we jump into how we do our monthly grocery shopping and all the tips and tricks that come with it, let's spend a little bit of time talking about our buying cycle and how we decide what we're going to buy each month.
So we've put together a buying cycle that spreads out our annual, our biannual, and our quarterly purchases for the majority of our grocery items. At least those that we can buy for at least 3 months worth. I'm not going to buy 3 months worth of lettuce per se, so that's not on there.
Shopping on this schedule allows us to buy in bulk and save money.
It saves time because we're limiting the number of SKUs that we have to think about and make decisions on each month.
It also ensures that we're building and replenishing our food supply on a regular basis.
As a bonus, it sharpens our food management skills by forcing us to estimate amounts and then revisit those estimates to be able to see where we were off.
Doing this gives us the opportunity to adjust accordingly, but also get better at the whole process.
If you have downloaded the grocery guidebook, you will find the buying cycle sheet at the back of the notebook in the reference section.
If you don't have the grocery guidebook yet, we'll include a link in the description where you can grab that for free. It's awesome.
I will mention that we do ask for your email address before we send out the guidebook because we have a series of other emails that go out to you to help you make the most of the grocery guidebook.
So go get your free grocery guidebook. Only you can do that.
And when you do sign up for that, you will also start receiving our Buy This Month emails.
Inside the Buy This Month emails, we're going to be taking a look at a slightly bigger picture.
This includes what's on sale at Azure Standard, what's new at Azure Standard, what's in season, which oftentimes is produce, but sometimes not. And we also take the opportunity to give you a reminder and offer some additional insight on what we are buying on the buying cycle for the month.
One of the tools that will help you organize and sort through all this information is inside of the grocery guidebook.
The Azure Standard Order Quick Sheet has a spot on the second and third pages to note down what you are personally most interested when you get that email. I personally like to fill this out right when we send out those emails because then I know that all the info I need is right there waiting for me when I go to finalize our Azure Standard order.
First, there are some fantastic products that are on sale at Azure. Jovial Pasta, they have some gluten-free and grain-free options that are awesome. And next, my favorite, the Maple Valley Co-op maple syrup, which I had way too much of this morning. And somebody's favorite, the Nancy's sour cream.
And their cream cheese.
And don't forget, you can take advantage of these sales for multiple months.
If you don't know how, I will link the video in the description below that tells you how to do so. Second, we have new items. There's a handful of new items at Azure, but there's one that really gets me excited. It's the hydrogen peroxide.
I tell her it's not good for her, but she continues to drink it.
This one is so silly. I'll share more about this when we actually get our hands on it, but for now, you might want to go order some before we buy them out.
And third is going to be the seasonal items. Because it's winter right now, there's only one thing that's going to be in season that's delicious, and that's citrus.
And you love citrus, don't you?
It's my favorite.
Just gobble up those oranges all day long.
Num, num, num.
So even though Kevin doesn't necessarily love citrus, we're going to be stocking up on oranges, lemons, and limes. We're also going to be getting back into the habit of ordering fresh grapefruit because our kids absolutely love them plain for breakfast.
And lastly, we have the February buying cycle.
So our main goal here is to stock up on 1 year worth of seeds. This includes the seeds for sprouting like alfalfa and clover and broccoli and radish. And it also includes things like flaxseed and chia seed and sesame seed. that you can use for baking or smoothies or putting into breads. And yes, chia pudding is one of my current favorites.
And we're also going to be stocking up with try to understand what I just said. And we're going to be stocking up with 6 months worth of snacks. Things like chips and crackers.
Which is good because our chip stash is about zilch. And then on the 3-month portion of this buying cycle, we want to make sure that we stock up on our nuts, our butters and fats, our broths, and our chicken.
And we're going to be taking all of this information into consideration when placing our Azure Standard order and any other monthly grocery hauls. Alright, let's jump back into the kitchen because I smell something delicious from the future.
Harbor is baking a cinnamon roll cake for breakfast, and oh my goodness, this is one of our new favorites.
And I'm happy it's an easy one to make because Zayden gets to help, and that little dude likes to just help in any way he can. Just take a look.
Or lower.
We're gonna bake this at 350 for 32 to 37 minutes. Yummy.
Take it away.
Eggs? I need eggs.
You missed your cue. We're making eggs. Bacon grease.
Bacon grease.
Frying pan.
This is a perfect over medium egg. I want to break it free of the pan.
I don't know, Asher.
I need a blade. We're going to cook it for about 2 minutes, then take it off when it's done. I accidentally broke the yolk on that one.
There we go. Harbor. How do you make the harbor nest? I honestly thought that. I don't know. No, just yesterday.
Do you remember the sourdough starter? We started a couple of weeks ago. Today we are going to make some sourdough crackers.
We're gonna add our sourdough, flour, some salt and baking soda, and lard to a bowl, and we're gonna let that soak for about 7 hours.
Want to do that?
Let's dehydrate some onions. Are you crying?
You sniffled.
He's trying not to. Let me look at it. Look at me.
It's
so sad.
As I'm walking, he's like.
Let me feel it.
We lost our onion cutters.
This is how she likes to wear diving goggles.
This has been baking for just under 40 minutes, and it looks beautiful.
One of the things I love about the cinnamon roll cake is that you get like almost 100% of the benefits that come from cinnamon rolls in about a quarter of the effort.
Yeah.
Like, it's a total win. We used to make cinnamon rolls. She used to make cinnamon rolls. Not often, but maybe like once every 1 or 2 months. And after we came up with this, I declared that we could do cinnamon rolls like once, maybe twice a year and be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about grocery shopping today, and everywhere else that you look, it seems that people are talking about having a no spend month or doing a pantry challenge for the month of January and or February. I wanted to take a minute to discuss why we do not participate in this type of pantry challenge. So first, we have set up our buying cycle so that we are able to buy most items in bulk, just between 1 and 4 times a year. And participating in a challenge like this would crunch our spending into between 10 and 11 months out of the year, which in the end would simply increase our spending during those months that we're buying. Now, for our family specifically, that means that there's an extra $3,000 to $8,000 worth of spending that I have to figure out where to fit throughout the year. Second, with the existence of rising food prices and supply issues, we don't want to crunch our food supply that tight to where we're relying on the market to be there at the end of those 2 months. Honestly, the idea of working through our food supply just for the challenge of it pretty much goes against every reason why we have a food supply to begin with. There have been way too many times where we have benefited greatly from our food supply, and most often these are things that we do not see coming. I would hate to participate in a challenge and then wham, get knocked out by something happening in life that makes us need what we had. Now, I'm not going to say that the pantry challenge doesn't make sense for anyone. For those of you who really do need to clean out what's in your pantry and your freezer and get rid of those items that are just taking up space to make room for the items that you want to build a stock of, I think that it could make sense. However, I encourage you to do this throughout the year a number of times so that you're not burdened by a piling amount of stuff. And then next, there's those of you who are actually growing and raising most of your own food. In this case, you probably do have a good year worth of food on hand, at which point there's a seasonality to that process that it does make sense to not have to buy much from the grocery store to fill in what you need this time of year. And then lastly, where I think that this pantry challenge really does shine is actually for a shorter amount of time frame when you're actually using your food supply for the purpose of testing your ability to use it and live off of it if necessary. But in this case specifically, we would really want to avoid all foods that would require being replenished to make sure that we're getting an accurate picture of what's going on. So I'm talking about living off of the foods that you only have like 6 months worth or more. Truly non-perishable so that you could really get a handle of what your meals would look like and how your body would tolerate them. So I'm curious, did you participate or are you still participating in the pantry challenge? Have you considered it? What are your thoughts? Maybe we're missing something, but right now I would say that for us, it just doesn't make sense.
We're gonna turn this stuff into a delicious Italian wedding soup.
Can I try?
Okay, this Italian wedding soup is made with a turkey meatball. But not just any turkey meatball, one that is delicious. Wait and see.
Can I dump this in?
A little bit of garlic. Another tablespoon and a half of parsley. And of course, some delicious coconut aminos. Maple syrup. Crickety crack and some salt. Crickety crack of pepper. Stir. While he's stirring that up, I'm gonna chop up the onions. Now these are made into meatballs, let's throw them in the oven, 350. These are gonna go in the oven for about 15 minutes. Meatballs are done, let's take a look. Oh yeah.
Here comes Mom, let's open the door.
The awesome thing about this meatball recipe is that it's paleo and gluten-free friendly. Not that that's a goal of ours, but when we were doing paleo and gluten-free, this is a recipe that we use often because there's nothing inside the meatball to hold it together outside the protein. When you bake the meatballs in the oven, it gives you all this awesome juice and flavor. That's all the seasoning and deliciousness. Don't throw that away. Put that in there. Since it's a soup, you need to make it delicious. So we're gonna take that Italian seasoning and we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of the Italian seasoning in the soup, along with some chicky broth.
Got this way.
How much chicken?
I like the superb lids. If you're using an Instant Pot to cook this, it's manual high for 10 minutes, or you can throw it on the stove for a couple hours.
All right, I have Harvard here with me to make some Parmesan soup cookies. These are going to be served with our Italian wedding soup that Kevin and Elias just made, and I think they're going to be the perfect addition to them. So, super simple recipe, especially when we break out the food processor. We're gonna throw our wheat, our Parmesan, our seasonings in, and then we're gonna add our butter, a little bit of water, and then roll them out. We do need to find a cookie cutter. So, let's throw 1.5 cups of flour. This was recently ground soft white wheat that has been in the freezer. But the way that you make it is kind of like a pie crust. As much as we normally like to grind everything fresh, I think this is gonna be perfect that this flour is cold.
Because next we're gonna add 1.5 cups of Parmesan.
And I'm gonna go preheat the oven because we didn't do that yet.
Preheat to the universal baking temperature of 350 degrees.
2 sprigs of rosemary.
Since we don't have any fresh thyme, I am going to add some dried thyme in here as well.
Who knows, we might have some out in the garden.
And then salt and pepper to taste.
It's coming.
I'm gonna just turn this on to mix and kind of grind up that rosemary that I did not dice at all. Then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of cubed butter. We're going to pulse this until we get like a crumbly mixture. Got 2 tablespoons of cold water. Now I'm not gonna add it all. I'm gonna add it slowly, and we're gonna get in that 1 to 2 tablespoon range. We're just waiting for it to kind of come together.
Well, here, there's like a layer of flour on the bottom. Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna roll this out to about 1/3 of an inch thick on a floured surface. Flour to it. I should have just done it on the regular, like not on the flour.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I have this glove now, or a mitten.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Upside down snowman.
What?
We're gonna spread some egg wash on these, sprinkle them with some salt, maybe a little bit more herbs. Throw them in the oven for, I think, 10 minutes. All right, so on some of these, I'm gonna put some Italian seasoning as well. And in the oven they go. Salt.
Hi. What's up? Garlic salt? It's super easy. You gonna walk me through it?
I'm gonna walk you through it.
My favorite part.
So we're gonna go with 18 tablespoons of salt.
Oh, I only have a teaspoon, so we'll be here for a while. 1/2 cup. Oh, gosh. I'm short.
So thankful that we have our new seasoning system.
I've seen enough of our videos. I know that funnels help.
Oh.
Whoa.
Again, funnels help. Okay, so then we're gonna do 6 tablespoons of parsley.
She's filled that.
That was like 2 tablespoons.
Oh, 2 tablespoons.
Where'd the funnel go?
I don't know, where'd it go?
Okay, just stop.
This is why I don't come on the side of the camera that often. Really?
And then we've got 6 tablespoons of garlic powder, which again is a 1/4 cup plus 1/2 of a 1/4 cup.
Hey, what piece of shit? There, now we can see it.
bad.
Come on, get it on there.
The monster is bad.
And then we clean up our mess. No, that's
You made a mess.
Mom, can I shake?
Ta-da!
Why?
And then Breslin shakes.
Shake it, Nora. Shake it all about.
All right, so we have Breslin and Zayden and I think everyone else here. We're gonna make some chocolate-covered potato chips. It's been a really long time since I made these. The one thing that I remember is that they had a tendency to get soggy. I think the research that I have done has told me that maybe I put them in the refrigerator. I don't know, it's been a really long time. So hopefully they're not gonna get soggy and they're gonna be super delicious. You can get creative and put sprinkles or drizzle white chocolate or butterscotch or peanut butter or whatever on these. We're gonna sprinkle some salt flakes and maybe we'll do some with some sprinkles as well if we've got any left over.
Mom, I see that.
We're gonna throw those in the double broiler to melt right along with the snot that Kevin just put in there.
Oh, you can wash it and put it in there again. Because
Yes.
you had.
Okay, look.
All right, so our chocolate is melted and now it's time to dip. What I want you guys to do is grab a chip, dip it about that much,
And then eat it.
and not eat it. Scrape, let the chocolate run off a little bit, and then I want you to try and put them on these trays close to each other so that we can fit plenty of chips.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. This is one of those meals that was heavily overdone in our house. And I was kind of reluctant to actually put it on the menu. But it is a delicious meal, and so we wanted to share it with you at the expense of the fact that I'm still kind of sick of it. But I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to love it, especially with these adorable little Parmesan soup cookies that we have to go with it.
What's the report?
So, I was right. These cookies are perfect
The Parmesan
with the Italian wedding soup. Like, exactly, because I didn't want to do a roll. I didn't want to do a bread, like anything. I just felt like that was too much, especially considering there's rice in there. And so, yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. The soup was delicious. The soup is really good. You should definitely try it. Just don't eat it like multiple times a week because it's just too much.
All right.
Okay, let's take a few minutes to discuss how we do our monthly grocery shopping. Now, to get started with this in planning for our monthly grocery shopping, I use the Azure Standard Order Quick Sheet inside of the grocery guidebook. So at the point in time which I am actually finalizing our order, I've actually gone through and done quite a bit of stuff. You can see finalizing our order is way down here. In most cases, I've checked out months in advance, gone through, filled my cart, and actually gone through the checkout process. When I do this, I make sure that all of our regular purchases are added to the order, which I pull from our Buy Every Month checklist, which again is located inside of the grocery guidebook. I'll also have added any sale items from the last 2 months. And if I'm able to, I add our buying cycle items in there because if I can get those in a few months early, sometimes if the prices go up, I'm able to take advantage of huge price savings. Okay, so from here, I will add items from both our please purchase list that the kids and Kevin fill out throughout the month, along with our monthly meal plan shopping list that I complete when I do our monthly meal plan. I'll also flip over to the second and third pages of the Azure Standard Order Quick Sheet and add items from our Buy This Month email. This is where I take notes on those, as well as add any books plus our giveaway, and if we're doing a sample for our drop point that month. Once I get everything added, I'll compare my total for my order to the budget that we have for the month. Now, I don't start cutting anything yet because I've got a few more steps to go before we go there, but I do want to have an idea of how much I'm going to either have to cut from the order or how much space I have to add. And let's be honest, I don't think that there's ever been space to add in my Azure order. I'm usually way over by at least thousands of dollars. And then it's time to compare pricing. I want to make sure that I take a look at all the items in my cart to make sure that I have the lowest price on each item. See, when you add items to your cart and you check out, it locks in that pricing. This saves you money when prices go up, but it also keeps the higher price when the prices go down. So it's really important to do a quick review of your pricing before your order finalizes. For any items that have had a significant increase in price, I try to make note of those so that they're not the ones that get taken out of my cart when I'm prioritizing and trying to get within my budget. For items that have decreased in price, I just remove them and then quickly add them back to make sure that I have that lower price locked in. Next, I'll go through my cart and I'll add all related projects to my grocery project planner. This once again is inside of the grocery guidebook. See, you need this. This helps me look at the time involvement that I'm committing to so that I can compare it to the schedule that I have for the next week or two after my order arrives. If I notice that my projects list is a little overly ambitious, this is where I first start making the cut for anything that I don't have time for. And if I'm removing items that are not too seasonal, I'll add them to my Not This Month list on the Azure Standard order quick sheet. Okay, and now, because unfortunately we don't live in a world with unlimited resources, I start prioritizing and removing items from our order to get the total down within our budget. Personally, I really like to print out our order so that I can do this on paper. It allows me to make notes as I prioritize. I star the items that I want to make sure stay in my cart. I put a down arrow on the items that I'd like to keep but are not quite as essential. I put a question mark on the ones that I'm willing to drop, and I scratch off the ones that I know right off the bat that I'm willing to get rid of. As I remove items from my cart, I either add them to the Not This Month list, or I put them on my grocery wish list, which once again is located in the grocery guidebook. And I'll be honest, sometimes I'm really bummed about the sales that we can't take advantage of or the projects that we don't get to do. But it's all okay. God is good, and I trust that He will reward us for not flippantly buying items that we don't have the money for or for committing to projects that we don't have the time for. And then from there, I go through a very similar but much simpler process for our Costco order, our Thrive Market order, our Amazon subscribe and save order, and a couple more. Maybe we'll share more about that in a future video as we continue to share more about our family food systems that we're using to help feed our family well. But for now, let's get back into the kitchen. All right, Asher and I are going to make some fermented jalapenos. We love our pickled jalapenos, and we started out doing pickled jalapenos that go in the fridge, and then we canned them so they're shelf stable, and that's super convenient. And the fermenting is kind of going backwards with regards to the convenience factor, but for the health factor, it's going way up. But, or not these onions, I'm sorry.
Going up.
How thick?
What do your mother?
So now we pour in the salt water. We're gonna put on our weights and then our pickle pipes. These are going to overflow with some bubbly goodness, and so you're gonna want to set them on something that can handle that bubbly goodness. Like perhaps a
Baking dish.
or a plate, baking dish or a sheet. We will visit these again in about a week.
Crackers.
Crackers
Cool.
and all that.
Yeah.
And all that. Ugh.
These are gonna be baked for
These are going to be baked for 350 minutes at 10 degrees.
Don't bake, they'll freeze. These are gonna bake at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes.
Our family loves granola, and today we're going to be making vanilla almond granola that we're going to start by soaking some oats and nuts in a little bit of lemon juice and salt.
Oh, you got your stuff? Are you playing with those? Oh, they're very nice. Show me your toys. Let's go take a look.
Yes?
Huh?
You want me to start chopping? Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt. We have these 2 tablespoons of frozen lemon juice that are going in. Now you're going to cover it with water. We soak the oats and nuts overnight because it breaks down the phytic acid and makes it easier to digest.
We's making chicken parmesan. It's delicious. We're gonna turn this chicken into something delicious. Alright, now that our chicken's done, we're gonna work on the sauce for this Parmesan chicken because, well, it wouldn't be Parmesan chicken without a delicious sauce. We've made it a few times using just pasta sauce, but this is going to be a super fast marinara / pasta sauce. We got some onion, some garlic, some tomatoes, all sorts of fun stuff. It's not getting you. Here's that sauce we were talking about. It's in process. I added a little salt and pepper. I just added a 1/4 cup of Italian seasoning mix. Not for a while then. I'm gonna let that cook while the sun sets. Winter. I accidentally dumped this when you weren't looking. Sorry. Bake at 350 till cheese is melted.
I made 2 loaves of bread earlier today for some garlic herb bread. We're making a garlic bread spread right here. I've added some softened butter, Italian seasoning, and I'm gonna be adding some salt. And then Dad minced me some garlic over there.
All right, Lyndon, we're gonna make a salad dressing. Get over here with me. Put two scoops in there.
I'm gonna do a giant.
We're making creamy Italian, because that's the theme this week is Italian. But this is yummy. We've had this before. We'll start with 2 tablespoons of mayo. White wine vinegar, 1/3 of a cup. Dump. It calls for a 1/4 cup of honey. 1/4 cup of water. 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Pinch of salt. All right, shake until ready. Start shaking. Shake, like a lot. While he's shaking, we're gonna clean. This is why it's important, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the recipe. Lyndon?
Yeah?
Shake, buddy.
I need
Alright, hold. Da, 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 da. Alright, dinner is almost done. And people are impressed that mommy
Are we doing chocolate covered?
Elias,
just
that's
chocolate chips.
Maybe if you eat your food.
Okay, I love this dish, and maybe it's a pregnancy thing because I don't love Italian food.
Well, now you do.
But this is really good, and you should definitely make it.
What? Now?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how about some of those chocolate things you made earlier?
How about some of those chocolate covered potato chips? That would be perfect for
Yes.
dessert.
Let's do this again.
I'm gonna see her eat it.
Ah!
Yeah.
We all have one.
Mimi, you want one?
Never mind.
How is it, Jaden?
Mom, can I try one?
Yummy?
No, you like now.
It'll make them soggy.
Hey, Sean.
Hello?
And now it is time for my most favorite part of the evening. Well, I get to do something that is super productive yet super easy while we sit here after dinner. We are going to make tinctures. First off, we're going to do a white willow bark tincture. White willow bark is known as nature's aspirin. It can be taken as a pain reliever, fever reducer. Do not want to use it as a fever reducer for children. Same reason why you don't want to use aspirin as a fever reducer for children. It is an anti-inflammatory. It can help with headaches, with menstrual cramps, and with pain or soreness associated with excessive workouts or using your body strenuously. So yes, my husband might love this when it is ready. And then secondly, we're gonna also do a nettle leaf tincture. Nettle leaf is kind of like one of those wonderful everyday herbs. This is something that is in my pregnancy tea, and honestly, it's something that you could benefit from taking, everyone can benefit from taking on a daily basis. And it can help boost your immune system. So it's got all kinds of goodness in it. I'm gonna put about a cup of the white willow bark in a pint jar.
Stop.
And then we're also gonna do about a cup of the nettle leaf. And then we fill with the vodka.
Oh, wait. Look.
I got you.
Great. Everyone quiet.
Stop.
You're gonna top this one off?
Dad, will you take me? I get that.
Alfred, did you get the lids?
Pushing down on me, pushing down on me. I need lids.
Don't forget, label your jars.
Label your jars! I'm good, thank you. That's all for tonight. We will see you next week for our Azure haul. All right, so let's give this a try in the morning.
Next up is some vanilla powder. This one's special.
Like mixing it in
Yes.
to the yogurt?
Yes.
Oh, I want to try that.